Hi guys, I'm Shmi. Hello and welcome back to the channel where you join me today in New York City with the Ford GT as part of my tour over here in the USA. But today you join me to visit a very special and almost secret car collection here in the center of New York City. Now if you're familiar with the area, you will know that that is very unusual. But inside these converted warehouses, we've got a raw garage of some very nice cars to explore. So you might spot behind me a Bmw M4 Gts, a Mercedes CLK Black Series, but feast your eyes over some of the other cars that are in here that we're going to be taking a look around today. The Porsches, the Ferraris, the Speciale, the F12 TDF, and I think we're going to be starting that up shortly because the noise of that V12 in here is going to sound absolutely epic. You've got an Alonso Edition 599, and then over this side, some of the Porsches, two 911Rs, the GT2 RS, that's a very special color as well, Carrera T, and plenty more to see. So the owner of the collection has invited me to come down and take a look around, and many of you will know I love visiting these kind of places, seeing the story, seeing collections, what makes them unique, and seeing what else is around as well. So let's explore, take in the cars, and then later on, here I think some of them starting up, including the F12 TDF. Let's check it out then. This is a pretty cool place to be. I'm going to come back to the Porsches in a moment, and likewise the Ferraris. So let's skip on through towards the front, and it is boiling today, hence why you've got the water running from the air conditioning, but we brought the GT inside, and driving this thing in Manhattan, particularly with that number plate, the British number plate, has been quite insane to be honest. But here we are, some local cars, starting off with the Bmw M4 Gts, and a major shout out as well, by the way, to the number plates. That's an epic plate. Many of the cars have really special plates on them, but the M4 GTS was the more hardcore version of the BMW M4, released in limited numbers. You've got all the accents that give it away, the extended splitter at the front, the special wheels, and inside the car, just to quickly come and show you this, an interesting thing, in the US they have the regulations about having harnesses and roll cages, but this car can have the half cage because it's got the additional padding, which is quite different. Normally if you have a Porsche or something, you have to have the cage installed afterwards, and it's not quite so simple. You can't have it from factory, but one of not too many of those. CLK Black Series wasn't the first AMG Black Series. There have only been, I think, 5 of them, but the 6th believed to be coming in the not too distant future. Absolute beast of a car, savage engine, makes an insane sound, and a proper driver's car. After that, I guess the practical car, the S63 Saloon. Again, with an AMG V8, wonderful thing. But then we get to the Ferraris. Now this collection actually started with this car, the 360 Modena, 360 Coupe up top in Nart Blue, a historical Ferrari color. That's basically where all of this began. And you can see, and I always love this when I visit a collection, you see what the owners, what they're going for, what they like, their kind of style, and in this case, clearly Ferraris and Porsches grab the heartstrings. And there are some very special Porsches over on the other side, but that's where it began. Now the other cars are all highly limited editions. The Alonso edition of the 599, you might remember, celebrating their driver Fernando Alonso at the time. They created it with the livery pack. Now what's interesting about this car is it's actually a little bit unique. So it's the only one of the Alonsos that actually has a leather interior to it. And you can see that it also had some of the striping that they would normally have around the side actually removed from it. But based on the 599 GTB, very rare car. I think it's been quite a long time actually since I last saw one anywhere. Then next up, one of my favorite cars in the world, the Ferrari F12 TDF. 6.3 litre naturally aspirated V12, but the dialed up version. They made 799 units of the car, obviously lighter than the F12, more power than the F12. It's up to 780 horsepower, and it has one of the most savage exhaust systems and sounds you could imagine. That V12, when you downshift it driving hard, sounds ferocious. It's angry, it's aggressive, and it's a stunning looking thing as well. The design elements, for example, out here, those openings, they introduced rear wheel steering for the car, and to be honest, this spec, I really like a Ferrari in this spec. The kind of pearlescent yellow with the titanium grey of the wheels also. I think the yellow calipers go nicely on that. Of course, yellow being a Ferrari theme when you've got the prancing horse badges, the Scuderia shields also at the side, and obviously the Ferrari badge worn on the bonnet. But that is a very good looking thing. Then next to that, the 458 Speciale, many people's, I think, favourite modern Ferrari, the 4.5 litre V8 in the Speciale, naturally aspirated again before the 488 came, the, I guess, successor to the 458 Italia, but obviously with the twin turbocharged 3.9 V8 instead of that naturally aspirated sound that this car has. And this was the, I suppose, launch colour scheme, the Rosso Corsa with the blue and white stripe that the car has up the middle, but another favourite and another very nice plate that's worn by it as well. So 4 pretty special Ferraris there, and you can see how this has kind of evolved, and soon to join the collection will be a Pista as well. That's going to be coming to tie in and grow out the limited series Ferrari models. Then if we come to the other side, through here are quite a few very nice Porsches, and there are also some more of them lurking right behind me, but there are 2 911Rs. Now you might be wondering, why 2, not 1? Well, the simple answer, 1 to drive, 1 to keep and store and keep immaculate. And this car actually is spec'd as the car was launched. So no AC, air conditioning delete, and basically the white with the red stripes and the silver wheels. And in fact, there is a photo of the launch car. Some really cool stuff actually on the walls to go with the cars that are in here. This one, slightly more usable with air conditioning, different colour wheels, the different with the green stripes as well. And yeah, a really, really proper driver's car. A fantastic thing, the 911R. And I also got the number plate, R991. It's the 991.2 generation of the 911. And on this side, the Carrera T991. Very, very cool matching plates between those two cars as well. But manual gearbox, lightweight, the 4 litre flat 6, and a thing that is just fantastic to drive. 500 horsepower, mega. Then behind that is the Ultraviolet Gt3 Rs Rs 991, another fantastic plate. That was the 991.1 generation. It launched in lava orange and ultraviolet, and this colour is a colour I really like. One day, maybe with topaz skin or something, I'd really be keen to have a car literally in that colour. I think it's fantastic. It's a really hard one to photo or video because it always looks a little bit more blue on camera than you see it with your eyes, a bit more purple, but very, very special, very nice car, and one that really, I think, sent the world into a frenzy because the prices these went for on the second-hand market when they were launched was just, well, a little bit crazy. But then next to that is something incredibly nice as well. This is a GT2 RS in Golf Blue. Now, Golf in the sense of GOLF, not Golf as in the oil company, GULF, which would be a much lighter blue, but making it, well, I guess, pretty unique. You've got those slightly golden wheels against the car, the carbon fibre, and some of the red accents on the interior. But the GT2 RS, 700 horsepower out of it, the turbocharged 3.8, and a car that, well, the amount of usable and mechanical aero grip, the car has mechanical and aero grip that it has, just something totally insane. You can drive these things so easily, so quickly. And you might spot in the background as well, there is also a 997 GT3, a 997 GT3 and a 991.2 GT3 manual in front of that, but we'll head up that way in a second. Just here is a 997 GT3 RS in the bright orange, and I'm led to believe that that thing is pretty loud as well. But this car, of course, actually quite surprisingly out here with the full cage you can see inside. Like if we just compare this, a European GT2 RS would normally have a cage with harnesses in the back, but out here you cannot have that from brand new. So this car fully equipped, fully kitted out. And yeah, maybe we'll get that one fired up in a moment as well to hear how that sounds. And then the Carrera T. So what I really like about this actually are the colours, the display. We're looking at a location that's kept quite simple, quite tidy, quite raw was the phrase, because look at the floors. If oil gets spilt, it doesn't matter. It's not a problem. The cars are here, they're being used, they're being driven, but they're also being stored here in New York, which is just a little bit crazy. So we've got the GT3. Come up to this. It's called Crayon out here. No, it's called Crayon for us, I should say. It's called Chalk out here, the paint colour on the car. But obviously, like the one that I used to own, but in this case, with a manual, not with the PDK. Oh, the blue seatbelt. That's quite a cool touch. Stands out to the interior of it. So, some really nice cars. GT3. Yeah, you get the point. This is exactly what I love exploring. Seeing these kind of collections, seeing these kind of cars, and having a look around and being able to share with you such a fantastic thing. And I mean, look at the walls, look at the kind of like pictures that connect to some of the cars that are in here, some Ferraris, some Porsches. You get the theme, even around this side, some airlines to blow up tires. You've got the emblems for the different companies as well. No Maseratis or Lamborghinis in the collection. Just some flags hanging, looking really cool. This is what I like. This is not going too far. This is just cars being stored to be used in a nice way, hangout space at the back as well, some sofas over there, but no big TVs, just, yeah, all about the cars. But anyway, let's go and see if we can find a key to get that fired up. And right on cue then, I've got the key. Let's do this. And inside here, given the nature of this kind of environment, it's going to sound truly, truly insane. So with a Ferrari, you don't actually need to unplug the trickle charger at the back to start it up. They have pretty clever trickle chargers, the same as I have on my GT4 Lisso, but basically, like say an Apple laptop, for example, it just kind of magnetically attaches and then pings off. So if you do drive away, that's not going to get broken when you drive out of the garage and tear the cable or pull it out of the wall or something. I'm talking about over here, check these out. So the owner has made these using the discs from the KN GTS that you might have spotted, the Daily, with these tables to go inside the garage, and I love those kind of things. Really, really nice touches. Anyway, I've got the key here, so let's take a step inside and get this started up. One of the best sounding cars absolutely anywhere out there. And just to look around the interior, the Alcantara, being very delicate, I don't want that to touch. Let's carefully bring the door back in. There we go, that's fine. But TDF, 799 cars, one of the greatest, and in yellow with the yellow touches inside, these yellow center stripes, such a stunning thing. So, take a careful step inside here. Key goes in, one of the last of the generations which still have the physical key. And wake it up. And I think make sure the radio is off. Big engine start button here, so we'll just wait for it to go through the different things. And then actually, let's do this. Pop that into race. I'm not sure if it makes a difference, but this is going to be the big one. Are you ready? Oh yes! The stock V12 startup. I mean, now of course you've got the valves fluttering. What a sound! That's why I put the Novitec Switchtronic on my GT4 Lisso. I nearly said FF there. Of course, so many similarities. That's what it's about. That is what it's about. Absolutely love it, and absolutely love this car as well in this spec. I feel like one day I need to own another Ferrari and spec it kind of like this. That should be on the cards. But yeah, this car's driven what, 678 miles. So this car not quite so much driving as some of the others, but yeah, just shut it back off for the moment. Pop it back into wet mode so it's ready to be driven out again. But such a good sound, such a thing. Absolutely love it. We are going to take a listen to that GT3 RS. I've been led to believe it's going to be rather loud, but firstly, have a look at this. The keys for the cars, plus a little present from the owner, a souvenir of my visit to New York. But one of these, and I think it's going to be this one, and I particularly love how you've got, say, the red and white from the 911R, the Golf Blue of the GT2 RS. I love that kind of thing. Awesome, awesome. So we've got the key here, and so that I can film this, Jason here, Speed Racer 38, is going to do the honours. And that means, given how the car is parked, you've now got the very difficult task of trying to climb through. I might just come around to the back to see if I can check this out. But the exhaust system on this is no doubt about to sound absolutely incredible, which we will hear in a second, and similar problems I have. And this is one of the things, if you're going to park cars in this kind of environment inside a collection, of course it is a bit of a challenge to make sure there is enough room that you can get everything out, some ramps to install some extra cars in, but he's managed to make it through, he's ready. So the key is in. Wow! Well, that was louder than I expected, for sure. Not bad in the slightest. Yeah, that's a proper grumble, and this, of course, is the generation of manuals, manual gearbox, proper driving car, proper track driving car. It's all good in there. I love the colours, the skittles that we've got going on. Carrera T, by the way, this is the lightweight new generation based on an entry Carrera with a manual, but taking out all the weight options. I just realised that I don't know if you can hear me over that, but Carrera T's, I've never actually driven a Carrera T, but anyway, get those Instagram stories. Do you know what? I've got a small correction to make about this. The colour of the GT3 is actually fashion grey, not crayon. Now, when I was looking at it earlier, I was thinking, am I entirely right about this? But it's a PTS colour. I was a little bit mistaken, unfortunately, about that one. But in here, the cars, the collection, what a display, what an amazing opportunity. A huge thanks goes to the owner for allowing me to come down to bring the GT here as well, to just see this, because as I said at the beginning, we're inside New York. Parking here is mental. If you want to get a space, if you want to have any opportunity to actually park your cars, well, it's going to cost a lot and it's very difficult, and the driving is, let's not talk about that right now, but to have these cars in this kind of setup, I think is really, really, really cool. So big thanks again to the owner for the opportunity to share it, to show you around, to be able to show you some of the cars, and of course to hear some of them as well. But that's it for this time. Thank you very much, as always, for watching, guys. I appreciate your support, but for now, onwards with the tour with the Ford GT, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Cheers.